Good morning, everybody. Listen, this is going to be a very, very, very quick motivational rise and grind, and I'll be as blunt as possible. The only reason I'm really doing these motivational rise and grinds is because it is something that I just want to be consistent with. And I know I haven't been on for 2 days. I have been traveling. My mom has been in the hospital, and yeah, so as you can see, my background is not the same. I'm in a different place. My father in law is in the hospital, so I have been unavailable. But I'm doing my absolute best to be as consistent as possible. So y'all are gonna look. I'm holding myself accountable, whether you like it or not. But we're gonna have motivation. We're gonna be motivated. We are gonna be focused on all of the beautiful things because let us be real here, everybody is in better health, right? And as it relates to what you do in your life, the focus is how are you creating value. So let's get to it.
I am a queen from beginning to end. I don't need you to lose for me to win. I am that fire, that magic, that bold, that command your soul within. I got money from checks I cash. I got talent. This shit gon' last. I be grinding with shit, dear sons and daughters. Tell y'all go hush now, like blue ivy garden. I'm the thing to tell yourself. I'm good for your health. I'm good for your wealth. I'm the thing to tell yourself. I'm your mama. I'm your sister. I'm your auntie. I'm your daughter. I am beauty. Show no ugly. Follow me. I'll take you. I am the light in the nighttime. Giving you life. Yes, I ride for my bloodline.
Y'all, how are you adding value with everybody that you talk to, with everybody that you interact with your family, with your friends? How are you adding value? How are you positively pouring into them? And let's be real here, are you positively pouring into yourself? What people don't realize is sometimes when you pour into others, not sometimes, that's a lie. Every time you pour into others, even if it's not from that direct person, right? There's always some type of reward that you get. Value always creates rewards, whether it's just the self satisfaction of saying, you know what, I was able to help that person and I was able to get that person to where they needed to be. Um, or it could be a situation where God is just like, hey, let me just bless you for blessing somebody else. Have you ever had those situations? And I don't know if wherever you are, but I'll use Greenbelt because I'm in the DMV right now, right? So in Greenbelt, Maryland, there is a Wendy's. Now, at the time, I was vegan, so this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I had to go into this Greenbelt shopping center. I don't remember which one, but it was at the Greenbelt shopping center, and I saw this homeless man. He had a sign, and it was like, "We'll work for food" or something like that. And maybe it said something small like, "In any help will do." So I went. I didn't ask him. I went to Wendy's and I bought him like a really expensive meal because Wendy's is expensive. I don't know if it's still expensive, but it was expensive at the time. Okay, it was like maybe $11 for some Wendy's. That's crazy, right? Or is it just me? Anyway, I digress. Um, I bought this man some Wendy's, and he was like, "I didn't ask you for food. I wanted some money." Oh, guess who ain't getting the Wendy's? Guess. But the thing is, it was like the same day somebody ended up blessing me with something, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I was blessing this man. There was another time when there was a homeless person who he asked somebody else for something to drink. He asked them for water, and they just kind of walked right past him. And I had an extra bottle of water in my hand, oddly enough, and I handed it to him. And he's just looking at me like, wow, thank you. Like that was kind of out of the blue. Later on that day, I was blessed. Like somebody actually looked out for me. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh, wow, like I didn't do what I did to get something, right? I didn't do what I did to get anything in return. I did what I did. because that person needed it and I was able to assist. But it just so happened that other blessings came my way. I mean, the story after story after story after story, everybody has had those experiences. The really the biggest focus is, are you paying attention to when those things happen? So there's a video that I wanted to show you guys, and it's a little it's a little, I guess you can say, kind of off topic, but on this particular, well, let's watch and we'll talk about it, right? Let's watch it.
And I just wanted to let you know, he was like, wait, let me see what I can do. He reaches out to the dean. He says, then the dean reaches out to me. He wants to talk to me. I'd never met him before. Calls me into his office. He's like, how much do you need? I knew how much, but I was like, I don't know if he knows that this is like not a couple dollars. Yeah. And a lot of people can't afford
Why were
college.
you hesitating to tell him?
Because I felt like, I'm like, how awkward would it be if I'm like 8,000? He's like, oh, so
good luck with that.
Good luck. But he had told me, he's like, they won't let you leave. Ooh. Like, you have to, we want to make sure you graduate from this school. So let me know how much it is. And I said, I'll get back to you. I'll let you know. A couple weeks go by. I wasn't planning on telling him. I get a call from financial aid and they're like, your balance is paid in full.
All of it.
All of it. And he's like, let me know if you ever need anything else. And I called my dad and my mom. And I was like, they paid for it. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm going to graduate. And my dad was like, he said in Spanish, he was like, tuve, ahora yo me puedo morir. Like, you see, now I can die. And 2 weeks later, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Okay. Follow me on this. I promise you I'm going somewhere. Because that wasn't a situation where she was pouring into someone. That was something where she was actually pouring into herself and added value to the school, right? She added so much value to the school that they were like, we want to make sure that you are good and we are going to pay for you to graduate. That right there is impressive. She's adding that so much value that the school is saying, we need to pay and make sure that you graduate from this school so we can get the credit that you graduated from this school. She worked so hard that she was able to get the rewards. Value is not only being pouring into other people. Sometimes it's pouring into yourself, which allows you to pour into whatever other entity you're working on. You have to add value in every way, shape, and form that you possibly can. Y'all, if you don't mind, I'm going to bring on somebody who is always adding value, who is always pouring into others, and who is always just as magical as they come. This lady right here.
Good morning. Look, I was trying to wave and be like, no, not yet, not yet.
I wasn't ready, no.
I wasn't ready. It's been one of these mornings. I was like, oh, shoot. Time got away from me.
No, I was showing them the video and I was talking about the fact that, value has to be, value is added in not just, pouring into people, not just paying for somebody's whatever. Sometimes value is added through pouring into yourself, which shows other people how much value they want to be adding to others or adding to themselves, right? Sometimes just being, oh my gosh, my brain just fell out of my head. What is it when you're showing somebody who you really are and people are watching and kids are seeing and they're looking up to you?
Yeah, being your authentic self.
Yes, but there's something, there's a word for it.
Genuine?
But that's okay. Being your genuine self.
Yeah, okay.
Being your genuine self will make other people see, okay, you know what, maybe I want to be like that. I want to be a better person. I want to be able to add value in every way, shape, and form. And they said that they're going to do it. They promised that they were going to do it. They committed and they did it. And so I want to be able to commit and do it. I look at you, right? You said, I want to work on my body. I want to work on my health overall. You committed to it, right?
Yes, right.
Yo, me and Shakia, I've known her since I was 5 years old. We were sitting there talking about you and that dress that you had on in that picture. I wish I had the picture. She was
She's
like,
so
"Oh my,"
funny.
she said she sent you the picture and was like, "Oh my God, you look amazing."
No, she was like, "Ma'am, where are you going?" I told her, I'm going to see a man about a horse.
That's what she told me. But my whole thing is, that took less than a year for you to go from A to B. You looked fabulous at A. You committed to it. And so there are other people who are looking up to you saying, she did it. She put it, she added value to herself. Look at her reward. She got legs for days. Right? And so my question to the audience right now is, excuse me, how are you adding value? Whether it be to yourself, whether it be to your friends and family, whether it be to, your job. And I'm hoping that you're not giving your job more than you're giving yourself.
Right.
So for you, as it relates to yourself, value creating rewards, how is that for you? What kind of rewards have you received from the value that you add?
I always say you can't pour from an empty cup. So you always gotta pour into yourself. And it took a long time to learn that. But once you pour into yourself, and you recognize the value that you bring and what you add, I feel like it gives you it gives you an awareness and it gives you an armor so that you don't fall out at the slightest thing that might come against what gives you value. If someone tries to tear you down or someone tries to tear down a dream, but you know what, I put the work in, I see the results, I know I'm expecting some type of reward from this, and that's what I'm going to accept. It lets you know I'm not accepting anything. Like even you as an artist, as a singer, my talent is worth this. So I'm not even going to tolerate an offer that is below the value that I know I bring to, from giving of myself. So,
I'm gonna make you laugh on that one because and let's just think about it. You as well, right? When it comes to poetry, when it comes to even singing, it's how many times have people been like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit you up with this $25." This is 2024/2025, sir, ma'am.
Right. Well, it used to be where I'm gonna give you exposure.
Okay. Are you sitting down? So I remember I would put his name out there, but that's just wrong of me, right? I really want to put his name out there. But there's a guy who used to hit me up all the time. "Hey, April, can you do this show?" Sure. What's the budget? He'd say, "Well, it's $100. $100? No, I'm sorry, sir."
You're doing a walkthrough?
Right. What you want me to do? He's like, "It's paying $100. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't call it. I can't do it. He's like, "But April, they pay. I mean, they also gonna feed you. Well, if you
I
give
don't
me
need another plate, sir.
if you pay me my regular pay, guess what? I can afford a meal. Amen."
Right.
And then hold on. Guess what? You sitting down? I'm vegan. I don't want the kind of food you're gonna be. You talking about? They got
the chicken wings. You don't want the chicken wings?
They got ribs. They got chicken.
You don't want the meatballs?
They got meatballs. Sir, like why are you doing this?
You don't want the repast meal?
Right. And that's exactly what a whole bunch of meat and some macaroni and cheese.
And some green beans with meat
Maybe. In them. Right.
So
you say green beans with the meat in them.
Right.
Sir, ma'am, sit down.
Right.
Okay. But that's what I would get. And I'm like, okay, so obviously to you, I have no value.
Right. But I realize when you find yourself in places that recognize your value, the reward and the environment and the people are completely different. And it's like, okay, they get it. This is where I belong. This is, yeah. And then I think it gives you a different sense of what you're doing. You have a little more pride in what you're doing. Not that as a professional, you know what you're doing. You're going to give it your all. But when someone recognizes your effort and your work, it's like it makes it that much more meaningful.
Do you know Paul Gardner? Do you remember Paul?
The name is familiar.
So Paul has been my entertainment lawyer for a minute.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
And Paul's the contract doctor online. So y'all
Mhm.
follow the contract doctor. There's one video that he posted, which a lot of people have done. He said, "You see this bottle of water. All right, you go to Costco, you get this bottle of water, it's 25 cents. You take this same bottle at Giant or Kroger and you pay $1 for it.
Mhm.
You take this same bottle to to a restaurant and it's $3.
Right.
You take this same bottle to a hotel and it's $5. You put this bottle on an airplane
It's
and
$8.
it's $10. Now, nothing has changed. The branding hasn't changed. The bottle hasn't changed. The water has not changed. What has changed? The location.
Mhm.
Same story, different product, I guess. A father tells his daughter, listen, I'm going to give you this car for your birthday. I want you to take this car to the dealership and ask how much they're going to give you for it. They're like, oh, we'll give you $1,000 for this piece of crap car. Oh, okay. She brings it back. Dad, this car ain't worth anything. He said, no, don't worry about it. Take it to the pawn shop, see how much they're going to give you. They're like, we'll give you $10,000. She's like, Dad, the car's not worth anything. Mm-mm-mm. Why don't you take this over to the antique car appraisers or whatever?
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
like, this car is worth is priceless. We can't even tell you how much this car is worth. We'll give you $1 million for this car. And she's like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
He's like, it's not he's like, the car hasn't changed. Nothing about
Right.
the car has changed. It's who sees the actual value
value.
in said car.
Right.
Why are we putting so much value on the wrong things? Or why are we putting so much, we're pouring into sometimes the wrong things?
Right.
And how many of us have scrolled through social media and that's all we're doing all day?
Right. Yeah, I've consciously had to tell myself like to reduce my hours. And then, you know, when the algorithm picks you up, it starts feeding you. It feels like it feeds you the negative things. You know, I'm trying to find the positive things. And it seems like it's so hard to find positive stories, the feel-good stories, but the negative things will pop out all day long. So
Okay.
you have to train that algorithm. Sometimes you just got to put it down and like, stop feeding me all this mess.
Do you watch the news?
I do watch the daily news, national news, about 30 minutes a day.
30 minutes a day.
30 minutes. I can't do it anymore.
And why?
I think we talked about this because it's on the loop and it keeps just telling you the same bad news stories over and over and over again.
And that's the problem, that we don't get any good news. There's no good news. I remember when I was a kid, you would turn on the news and they would talk about Miss Mary Mabley, who's 573 years old, and
Right.
she's surrounded by her beautiful family and her beautiful this and all of the amazing things that she's seen in her lifetime, and how happy she is to have all of the beautifulness that she has in her life. And it would never be followed behind, you know, such and such was twerking on the street and got shot 2 times in the face, and then somebody ran over her because blah 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 blah, and then her baby daddy came and did like
Right. It spirals.
How is this all on the news? How is it that on the news the other day you literally watched someone be murdered on national news?
Right.
And it was on a loop. Nationally, everybody is watching this one man be shot. This is unacceptable. And it's something that's happening every single day, that all you see is negativity.
Mm-hmm.
We need to change what we're seeing. We need to change what we're putting into ourselves, what we're telling ourselves.
Right.
Because the more value we give ourselves or pour into ourselves, the better and easier it is for us to pour into others.
Right. And then people will recognize that. They recognize when you're putting quality into yourself. I mean, even from what you eat, what you drink, like it comes out. Like I can tell now that you've gone back vegan, like your skin is glowing. Because you recognize what you're putting into, you're putting value into yourself, you know.
Listen, and same when it comes to you, which makes me sick. I'm sorry, but this is all jealousy. So y'all turn away for just a moment, because I'm about to just It just sickens me with disgust how great you look. And that I haven't started yet. I told Shaki, I said, I need to start pouring back into myself when it comes to my body. And one of the things that I want to do as it relates to pouring into myself is swimming. Hey, Velvet, y'all, I need to give a shout out real quick to Chef Vel. Chef Vel is the ultimate vegan chef. Ultimate vegan chef. If you all saw me on the news back in October, I think it was. Yeah, October. This is the amazing chef that I was her sous chef. She has chefed all over the world. I need to put that out there, show her nothing but love. Hi, baby. But yeah, I said I was going to start swimming every morning.
Right.
Because I'm just thinking, a nice swimmer's body would do me very well.
It was a full body workout. Yeah.
It is a full body workout. And in all seriousness, I'm like, I've seen a lot of swimmers' bodies and their asses look amazing. And that's all I want. Is like the perfect ass. Amen?
What the hell with everything else? Just get the perfect ass.
Well, the perfect ass and absolutely no gut. I don't want an inner tube. Like,
right. Yeah.
I just want a straight up amazing ass.
Right.
And nice arms.
Right.
That's it. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Go get to the pool. Yeah.
I think I'm going to the pool. Okay, can we talk about, like, this has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Pools, and that, you know how I am when it comes to, like, stuff being clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to psych myself up because I love the pool, right? I can swim all day, every day.
Uh-huh.
It freaks me out how many people are in the pool and the fact that people do things in pools.
In the pool, right.
And I'm like, Lord, please.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm a germaphobe as well. I'm like,
please let this chlorine be strong, God.
Lord, bless this chlorine that it works the way that you say it's supposed to work.
Bless this chlorine, Lord, because I'm actually swimming in it, and oh my God, Lord, and I jumped in too fast and I swallowed, Lord.
You sound like you're describing a dating pool.
Well, I will say, you and I had that conversation also. And can we have a dating conversation? Because I think that is also an issue as it relates to pouring into, right? And value and creating rewards, value creating rewards. I really think that as it relates to the dating pool, that is where some problems do lie. That the guys and women, like, I'm not gonna make this a bashing men thing or a bashing women thing. If you are looking for somebody that you want to be in a relationship with, but you're not pouring into yourself to be able to be prepared for the person that's coming for you.
Right. Get your dirty self up out the pool, please.
Get your dirty ass out the pool. Okay? And go out and take a shower and stop peeing in the pool. Stop peeing in the pool. I wish they really did have that blue dye. But because I feel bad, like I feel it's looking back, I remember you and I having the conversation. I'm like, whatever, it's not that hard to date. And then
says the married woman.
True. But I have actually gone out, like gone shopping, and guys have hit on me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is how y'all are hitting on? Right. This is what you're doing now?
Right.
Oh, no. And I'm like, it ain't been but so long. I just got out not too long ago. This is what y'all doing now? Sir, ma'am, this is not acceptable.
Right.
So, guys,
and girls.
I'm
women have helped to pollute this pool as well.
Oh, please don't get it twisted. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, I'm starting with the men. Mm-hmm. Men, please, if you are looking for a well-rounded, good, wholesome woman, please don't think that you can approach her like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's not, you don't have to have all the money, because that's another thing that kind of bothers me when it's like, I have to have everything together perfectly so before I even decide to start a relationship. No, it's not, because both of y'all can grow together. You do have to have certain things already in place, but don't think that you have to have everything in place, because a healthy relationship, you all are growing together. Ladies, please stop. Please, this is very important. This right here. Please stop trying to date somebody's married husband.
Okay.
Please, this is just because it just does not look good. Also, stop being extra thirsty, because the thirstier you are, the more people know that you are thirsty.
Right.
It shows all over. And let's get back to the value. You all are not showing your value. Okay, you're showing your thirst.
Right. And it's like, make sure that you represent the value that you're looking for.
That is, say that one more time, because I think that needs to be heard. Say it again.
Make sure you represent the value that you are looking for.
That's the
I'm
word.
saying it has to be 50-50 or things like that, because everybody in relationships, you're going to bring different things to the relationship.
Well,
But
okay, so when you say don't stop saying 50-50, because I agree with that wholeheartedly, what does that mean to you?
like 50-50 doesn't mean, okay, I'm gonna match you as far as income. I'm gonna match you as far as education. I'm gonna match you as far as, I cook half the meals, you cook half the meals. No, we're gonna mesh and blend together in what I bring. So, I cook practically daily. You may not cook, but you have other skills. And so when we bring those together, it creates a balance for our lifestyle.
Mhm.
You may you may make more money than me. However, I make enough money where I'm not going to pull from your pot and you're not going to pull from my pot. But we come together and we're able to build, we're able to fill that pot up even more.
Honey, and it's like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Right. So yeah, it's like, just make sure that you match the value, not the items, not the checklist, not the things, but the value, and you can see that value in yourself. Like, this first, you got to see the value in yourself before you jump out here and start looking for somebody to link up with.
My husband and I watched a video once, and we looked at each other like, oh my gosh, I think that sucks. We never had that conversation like, what do you bring to the table and what do you bring to the table? We just we both brought our tables to the table and was like, okay, let's create a bigger table. That's the way we worked it out, right? And this one lady was talking about her relationship with her husband. She said, it's crazy. We don't necessarily come to each other and say, it's 50-50. We come to each other and say, babe, today I'm at a 10. Can you please provide 90?
And that's beautiful.
Right. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like that's us, because when we're both, it'll be times when we're both only 10. And we're like, can we just chill for a second so we can both kind of get our energy back or replenish,
recharge,
and get to where we need to be so that we can be the best for each other.
Right.
And so I was saying, but when I first started, like, everybody's in the hospital, like everybody. And it's one of those situations where we both have been able to come together and say, okay, this is how I'm going to add value to you. This is what I'm going to do for you. And we've been able to do it. We've been communicating better. Trust me, we have had our moments where we're like, I don't like you. That's more me than him.
I'm not surprised.
100% more me than him. But we've had those moments and they've been beautiful on the other side. You know what I mean? And even with us going through all of the issues that we've been going through as it relates to our parents, the blessing is that we're able to see each other and say, how can I add more value to you right now? Or right now, I need a moment. Can I have it? You know what I mean? And it's beautiful. So I think that if once people really see that it's not 50-50, it's not 50-50. 50-50 is bullshit, actually. It's, this is where I am today. Can you meet me?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. And you know what? Let's take it even one step further. Let's take it out of relationships as far as like husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you are, you are. But in your everyday life, if you started a business, right? How are you doing that as it relates to your business? Or
Right.
how are you doing that in your friendships?
Right.
Um,
Exactly. Friendships on the job. Right. Absolutely.
what's your longest friendship?
Um, I'm still friends with my best friend from I was 14 years old.
So what you know that it's crazy if you talk to the average, and I'm sorry, y'all, I keep talking about the whole gender thing, right? But if you talk to the average woman, they don't have long-term friendships.
Hmm.
Have you noticed that? Like if you just randomly go to some,
Yeah, you know what? Oh, you okay? You got birds trying to get in? The deer?
I don't know, something just happened. Like, who outside? Okay, but go
But
ahead.
yeah, I would agree. Yeah, because I've met several women, you know, and it's hard to. I think sometimes it's about where you live too. But I've met several women who I'll be like, "Where your day ones at? Where you?" And they don't have them, or they've fallen out with them for some reason. And I'm like, you know what? Even with my day one, we may have had some years where we were disconnected or we fell out, but we still always come back. And like when we get on the phone, we may not have spoken for months, but we're gonna catch up and we're gonna talk and we're gonna laugh. I call people all the time, like I just called to visit. You know how the
Mhm.
old people say, I'm just gonna go visit a little while. So yeah, but yeah, I guess I can see that it's hard. I tend to I have a small friend circle because I'm very stingy with that word friend.
Mhm.
But once you're in my friend circle, you're in there.
You in there, like
Yeah,
swim well.
right.
Well, I see, and that's why I said I don't want to do this as a gender thing because I can't say how guys are per se, but so I can only speak for who what I know, right?
Right.
I think that it's messed up that we don't, and I'm not saying we as in you and I, as in me and my friends, you and
Hmm.
your friends, whatever. I'm saying that from a woman perspective, and guys, if you're like this, fix it, right?
Right.
It's not 50-50.
Right.
It's meet your friends where they are.
Right.
Sometimes they're going through something and you're not pouring into them the way you should be because you're like, oh, they ain't do this for me the last time when I needed blah blah blah. You don't know where
Right.
they were. Did you
But
have
we
that
don't know what they're
conversation?
juggling, what they're battling. We don't
Right.
know. They might need us to show up and be that 90%.
Sometimes it needs to be 98.2%.
Right.
Like I need you now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're not giving what needs to be gave. That's the part where it's kind of frustrating because it's like, why? Why can't you do that? Why can't you be that why can't you be that backbone for your friend right now?
Right.
Um and so we look at it like we should be that way for our spouse. No, you should be exactly that way for your friends. You know what I mean? And you should give your friends the grace that they need. You should add the value that needs to be added, and I promise you it will create all the rewards that you could ever just imagine.
I agree.
Um so what's on your agenda for the day?
I don't know because I just woke up. Like I literally woke up. I haven't even washed my face yet. I'm sorry.
So you didn't wash your face.
I did
You
not.
washed
Like
your
when
ass today.
I literally I woke up. I had to get up. I had to go walk my dog. Like this wasn't a good morning. You know, how typically we talk about get up, focus on yourself, get yourself, gather yourself. This was not a good morning for me because I woke up kind of. I hit the ground running and had to do stuff that wasn't focused on me. So I'm gonna, pull it back, take some time, focus on me, get myself together, dial into this work day. And, of course, I'm going to go to the gym this evening. It's Thursday. That's what I do. And, today is a pretty easy day. Thankfully, we need those. I don't have a lot of running around and hustle, but
Good.
yeah. So
This is a day for look, even though it's a work day, it's a day for rest and relaxation.
I don't know about that, but
You
it's a day.
did just say the gym. You did just say the gym, so now that's a little different. That's a little different.
Yeah.
I think this is one of your friends. Quick question back on the relationship topic, talking about value. Are kids a part of the equation? Sorry for the interruption. No interruption, Toby. But when they say when you say our kids are part of the are part of the equation, what does that mean? Like, can you add? Do you want to add children? Are they a
Like,
deal
take into
breaker?
account children.
Like, what exactly are you? What do you mean by that?
Right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
so I kind of I need a little bit more. I need you to elaborate on that.
A little more context on what the
Just a
question is.
little bit.
But I do think in relationships, when it comes to children, there has to be a balance. You have to be you definitely have to have a conversation on how much of a load you're going to carry from one partner to the next. You know, like if they come and they have 5 children and you have 1, that might not be something that you want to take on. Or if in my case, like I have an adult child, not necessarily interested in raising a young child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm at a place where I'd like for your child to be an adult and well on their way to be independent. You know, so yeah, I wish I had more context, context
Well,
on that question.
he says as far as when searching for a partner.
Oh, and so yeah, I mean, children is definitely important to talk about and to figure out if you're on the same page. And you know, just like I know there are men who will discriminate against women who have children or multiple children.
Mm-hmm.
I am a woman who will discriminate against a man who has multiple children because
Wait, so
I would have to be honest with you. I can't balance it.
wait, pause. Are you telling me you wouldn't date Nick Cannon or Future?
No, I could not.
Huh?
Yeah, I probably would love to spend their money, but there's a lot that comes along with that. You know, like, yeah.
They're asking, does it lower their value? So I'm actually I'll say something about that. So as it relates to my husband, before we got married, we didn't want any children, right? He was like, I will never date a woman with children. Why? Because he actually had 2 relationships with women who had children, and it didn't work out well for him.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry to be putting his business out there. He was probably going to curse me out for that, but joking.
You'll be okay. We love you.
And then for me, I was in a relationship with somebody who had 2 children. I loved his 2 children. Like his 2 children, as far as I was concerned, were my 2 children. Loved his children's mother. I'm like I don't want to call her baby mama. That's his children's mother. She's a great mom.
Mm-hmm.
And those kids were awesome. But, and there's no but, that's a period. His kids were awesome. After that relationship, however, I didn't want to enter into another relationship with children for a few reasons. Number one, you get attached to their kids, and if that doesn't work out, then it's not fair for you or the children.
Right.
In addition to that, sometimes you end up sometimes pouring so much more into the children, and the children end up being more of the relationship than the actual relationship. And so if the relationship has kind of really ended, you might be holding on to the relationship just for the kids.
Because of the child, right. Yeah.
And I think that when kids are involved, to your point, you should have boundaries. Like, I should not meet your child. I should not meet your child early on. If I had children, you would never know my child until I know that you are somebody who really, really, really has all the value. Your question is, does it lower his value? It does not lower his value.
Right.
That's just where you are in your mindset in your life. Do I want this child? Because
it doesn't lower his value or her value.
Right.
You just have to find someone who
is that what you can handle
with you regarding children. And no, I mean, I think sometimes children can actually be quite valuable in a person's life. Like sometimes that child might change up a person's whole personality to where they've slowed down, or they've gotten focused, or they've gotten driven, and that child has actually made them a better person. But at the same time, there are some where they have children and it shows you that they're reckless with their lifestyle. It shows you that they haven't made good choices, or that they've been promiscuous and so having children, there's no, yes, it adds value. It just depends on that person and how they've handled those children and those relationships and that relationship with the parent, the co-parent.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that I don't think it lowers value. I don't think a child lowers value.
Right, not at all.
I think a child can actually add value because, to your point, sometimes that child makes a parent want to be better.
Right.
Look at if you watched this show, Friday? Was that Friday? With the mother and the two children, the one who passed her college.
Right, I remember. I can't remember which day because I think you were.
I think that was Friday.
Friday, yeah, Thursday or Friday. Right?
Yeah, she had her children with her. Her children were motivating her to pass the bar.
Right.
Come on, son. Like, no, of course children can potentially add value. I think that when it came to you and your son, I'm sorry to, I hope it's okay for me to put it out there like this, but I think that your son was your motivating factor.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, look at you right now. Like, you are killing it, man. And I think that that's amazing. You look at Constance, for example. I think her children are her motivation to be a success. And I mean, I'll put it out there. I've dated many guys who have children who their children motivated them to be better people.
Right.
And motivated them to get better jobs. It's just a thing. That's sometimes what children will do. They will give you that motivational push that you need. They will add the value that you are supposed to have. But whoever this Toby person is Toby?
I can't see the name, but I'm thinking Toby is someone I went to school with at Winston-Salem State. Shout out Ramley.
I'm gonna put it out there. Toby, are you asking this question to Jermaine? Like, are you trying to like? And he said, stay on topic. The topic is value creating rewards. We are on topic, sir. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and sit all the way down. But talking about when searching for a mate. So when searching for a mate, we already answered the question. Does it lower the value? The answer is no. Does that answer your question?
No, because at this age, I expect. I really prefer. I expect a man to have at least one child. Like, I expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer for that child to be an adult at this age. But yeah, I expect it. Like, I'm really gonna be. I don't know. I would expect it. I'm not gonna look at you any different if you don't. But I really would be like, oh, yeah, I expect you to have a child, at least one child at this age.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would. I don't think anybody would think that a child would lower their value, especially if they're over the age of 35.
Right.
If they're over the age of 30, I would say if they're over the age of 30, people would probably expect a person to have children, to your point. I don't think that it would lower your value. In some ways, it could potentially add value.
Right.
But in a lot of ways, it's also not something that a person would want if they already have, to your point, grown children.
Right.
And there are a lot of people who are over the age of 35, 40, who already have either grown children or semi-grown children, where they don't want a new child to start all over with.
Right.
I know that
I used to laugh with my sister all the time, and I'm like, girl, I'm looking for the man who got the grandbabies now, because the grandbabies could come over, spend the weekend, and they got to go back home to their parents. Like, that's about as much as nurturing I can give right now to young children. And so I just recognize that in myself.
Fact.
Not saying that someone has less value or I have more value, vice versa, but I recognize what I'm capable of giving.
Now, I remember when I was dating, there was a guy, and I was so shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, he has grandchildren. Like, who has grandchildren? I think he was maybe 40. Let's say I was like 32, something like that. I'm like, he got grandchildren. What? That doesn't even make sense.
Right.
And looking back, I'm like, but he had grown children. Like, I wouldn't have had to deal with any of his kids like that, except for like holidays and birthdays or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but that was such a turnoff at the time. And like now, if I was still dating, I'd be like, yeah, where the granddaddies at?
Right.
Where the granddaddies? Where the granddaddies? No, but I'm so grateful. It's funny when, like I said, when I met my husband, that's the first thing that he said. Do you want kids? Absolutely not. Um, hmm He's like, do you want kids? Absolutely not. I'm like, you want them? He's like, absolutely not. Well, look at God, hallelujah, holla back. Real quick, as it relates to value, is there anything else that you feel that you can kind of tell a person that a way that they could potentially add additional value in life?
I would say to basically recognize the value that you hold within yourself and don't sway from it. Don't let anyone step on it. Don't let anyone dim the light on it. Once you recognize it, put it out there, let it be seen, and walk in that. And I think that will add value to your life because you're not going to accept just anything. You're not going to be torn down by anything. You're not going to allow certain things in your space. And yeah, like basically the best thing I could say is to recognize the value and what you carry, what you bring, what you're walking around with. And don't let anyone, tell you anything different.
That I love that, and I 100% agree. I would say that as it relates to value, know yourself and don't accept anything less when it comes to what you want in your life.
Yeah.
So as if you're looking for a relationship, don't settle for crap. Now,
Right.
don't go around looking for everybody to be, perfect. And this, he has to have 100% of everything because that doesn't
Because
exist.
it will never happen. Right.
But don't settle for somebody who treats you like garbage. Don't settle for somebody who is always putting you down just so they can build themselves up. As it relates to your job, your friendships, don't accept anything less than what you're willing to accept. And always pour into yourself on a daily basis.
Right.
Real quick, how can people follow you?
Instagram, I am Jermaine_Soko.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Jermaine Pringle. Threads, YouTube at I am Jermaine_Soko.
Soko. And anywhere you can follow me, April Foster Properties. So y'all get to following. Look, I say anywhere y'all can follow me, April Foster Properties. Y'all visit me at aprilfosterproperties.com. Y'all can go to www.aprilsanpay.com. Y'all can go to Facebook, IG, and TikTok, April Sanpay. Y'all can go to April Sanpay on the YouTube.
On YouTube.
On the YouTube. Real quick, you guys, if you have not purchased a home, if you are waiting for values to be added as it relates to your home, you will be paying a lot more. So get it while the value is low. And as the value goes up, you will get all the rewards. So in all seriousness though, y'all, seriously, it's time to purchase. I can promise you, and this is a promise, it's 2025. Things are going to sincerely change as it relates to the housing market. People keep saying, I don't want to purchase because I'm probably going to move. Okay, then rent it out later on.
Right.
At least you have property. At least you have something. You're creating generational wealth. So for Toby, considering the fact that you were talking about children and the value of the children, making sure that you have value for your children in their future, right? Making sure that you're able to pay for their college without having to get a loan. This is different. These noises are noising, okay? So if you all, again, are looking for a property and you're ready, it doesn't matter where you are in any state in the country, you can go to aprilfosterproperties.com, schedule an appointment, give me a call. I'm looking forward to working with you. I love you guys. I'm not lying. Not this time. Be beautiful. Be blessed. Be creating all the value that you can. Bye, y'all.